Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Happy Tuesday morning, y'all. Hope you guys are ready to sit down, dig in, and talk a little bit about the upcoming UR unit, Elsirelle. And oh my gosh, I just realized I didn't get the music going. Get it going on here, starting it up for you. We'll set the mood. It's early. Y'all are probably in your PJs, eating your cereal or something. Let's talk Elsirelle, though, because she is a pretty cool unit. She is going to be a light element greatsword user. She is non-limited. Her primary job is going to be a new class called Nightblade, with access to subjobs Spellblade and Dual Gunner. As I said, she will wield greatswords, and her armor is going to be armor, helmets, and accessories. She has 10% weakness to dark element. She has 50% resistance to poison, 10% resistance to stop, and 50% resistance to disable. The disable pretty relevant against Dwayne, but the poison not too exciting, and with only 10% resistance to stop, little bit bummed out by that. Her TMR, the heart-shaped hairpin, is going to be an accessory with 252 HP, 10 spirit, and 12 accuracy. Wake Up Impact is going to be an increased accuracy 30 for 3 turns for allies around her. Pretty good accuracy boosting TMR. Might see some use in the future if we continue to see evasion comps the way we have in Class Match. It'll be interesting to see if people actually utilize this. Her mastery ability increases HP 10% for light allies, increases light attack 15 for light allies, and accuracy for herself, increases pierce resistance and missile resistance 5% for herself. Now, when we look at her resistances, I am going to include the 5% here, and then she also has an ability in her primary kit called Double Resist, which gives 25% pierce resistance and 25% missile resistance. So if you're counting, that's going to be a total, if she does use that ability, of 40% or 45% pierce resistance. And it is going to be a total of 40% missile resistance. And that's with no pieces of gear on her. That's with just her using her double resist ability into her primary kit and her mastery ability. So she is going to be very powerful and very sturdy against missile users and pierce users. So if you're using Kane, you are going to want to most likely stay away from Elsirelle. Her stats are pretty interesting. She is a primarily attack-focused unit. She does have some nice spirit up as well. You can see down at the bottom is kind of her level 99, kind of all stats combined. She's going to have 22 starting AP, 3058 HP. She'll have about 359 attack with 8 spirit, 59 agility, so she's going to be a really fast unit. For those of you that were following Garvall, that's actually faster than Garvall. So she's going to be pretty good and pretty versatile. Her limit break, Goodnight Rumble, is going to decrease AP consumption 40 for 3 turns for self, which is pretty good. And it's also going to deal 200% damage in a cross formation to the opponents. Now, of course, we do have Kisang's video here, so let's go ahead and watch and enjoy it. Oh, there we go. There we go. She's doing the walk. I thought the video was stuttering for a second. Oh, those thighs. That's... I think we all know those are Valentine's Leela thighs right there, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, she's such a cool unit. I love her sword, too. It's a shame that we're not going to be able to glamour her sword on here. And her limit break is also a very unique ability. So that's her limit break. Again, pretty cool ability, very unique unit. It is not multi-hit, but it is cross-shaped, and being able to decrease AP consumption for yourself is very useful. Let's go ahead and take a look at her passives. Her passive, she only has 4 passives, which is interesting. She has Nightblade Mastery, which is increasing attack 30% for herself and accuracy 25, at the cost of decreasing her evasion rate, which I think is very good. Providence of Darkness, magic resistance and dark resistance. You might actually be setting this with the prevalence of dark units. Missile Mastery for missile attack up. You most likely will not be setting this. And then we also have tune-up, which is probably going to be set by everybody. Agility 12%, and then defense penetration 40 for herself. Her counters, she does have counter swing, which is going to be a 30% chance to proc 121% modifier damage. She has magic guard, which I imagine most people will be setting, which is a 20% chance to reduce 45% of magical damage taken. And she has predictive fire, which of course is going to counter physical damage at a 30% chance with a missile attack. Now, her primary job, since we are going to be looking at modifiers, is going to be, basically it's going to be her Nightblade class. It's going to have 120% attack modification on her abilities. So she is a very attack-focused unit. Now, it's very important to note that this modification is significantly different with her sub-Spellblade. You can see it's 100% magic, 25% dex, 10% agility, 10% luck. Very similar to Garvall. Just be aware of that because she is most likely not going to be built for magic on your composition. So you're going to want to make sure and adjust those Spellblade abilities so that she's not using those. You're going to want her to use her attack abilities. And it's just going to give you that focus of, all right, I need to focus on attack with her, even if I'm going to be doing sub-dual gunner. Now let's take a look at her main jobs kit. Stun Blade is going to be a 3-range attack, 25% chance to inflict stun for 14 AP, pretty powerful. Double resist as well. I think this is going to be an ability she will be using. Maiming Slash decreases healing power 40 for 3 turns to target. There's a cross-shaped attack at 165% modifier, 3 space range. Very good. Concentration increases slash attack 40 for 3 turns for allies, increases defense penetration 20 for 3 turns to self. This is going to be really powerful. I really hope it's not programmed the same way that Dwayne's slash attack modifier is, where he has to use both of those slash attacks twice, or like that buff twice. And then finally we have what I think is probably her most important ability, Drain Rush. So it's going to be 175% modifier, absorbing 30% of the damage done, 3-hit attack. Now, for those of you that are already knowing what I'm going to say, that basically means Elsirelle is going to pair extremely well in any raid where you are utilizing a light slash composition. A 3-hit greatsword user with drain HP on that attack for only 22 AP, and it has 2 range, is extremely powerful. It has 4 casts. If you are going to be going into a light element raid, Elsirelle is completely going to be replacing or going alongside Ramza as the best light element chainer, and she has a mastery ability that buffs light element units. So keep that in mind. If you are someone who's running a light slash composition, she is going to be absolutely wonderful. Her sub ability Nightblade gives AP drain and it gives spinning slash. Honestly, I don't think you're going to be running her sub Nightblade here. AP Drain is a pretty cool ability, has a 100% critical hit rate chance. So for those of you that want to do things like testing out critical hit rate and stuff, might be something you can experiment with there. Honestly though, I think you're not going to be subbing her Nightblade for those abilities. Spellblade sub. Now, I already kind of warned you that you're going to want to turn off Bioblade and Banish Blade. Haunting Blade, you might want to keep on since she doesn't have access to native enmity generation. And if you do want her to tank, you are going to want her to use Taunting Blade. You might have to turn off like all of her other abilities to make her use it though. Might be really frustrating to try and get her to use. She can also use Resist Magic and Magic Barrier, which most people are going to want from her sub Spellblade, which will give 38% magic resistance for 3 turns for allies around her and herself. And it's going to give Magic Barrier, which reduces magic damage taken 50% for 3 times for self. So pretty powerful abilities for sub Spellblade. Pair that with having as much pierce resistance and missile resistance as she already has, and she's going to be a pretty beefy girl. She also has access to sub Dual Gunner, and I could actually see sub Dual Gunner being utilized for her. Specifically because Smokescreen gives a beautiful 20 defense for 3 turns, and it gives some nice evasion rate as well. So if you are wanting her to run against maybe physical compositions, I could actually see her utilizing Smokescreen for her own benefit. Of course, you also have access to Dual Trigger, which is a 2-hit, 28 AP missile attack. So if you are chaining missile, you could potentially be using Dual Trigger on her as well. I know a lot of people saw the use of Venera in the last raid, where they were using Venera Sub-Gunner for chaining missile. So Elsirelle can actually be used in the same way, just that she's light element. Now let's talk about her equipment, because depending on how you build her, you could utilize her in a couple different ways. Now, the Golden Blade does release with her, but there's also the Rune Blade, which is another MR weapon, which does offer slash resistance as well for the unit. Being that Elsirelle has no slash resistance at all, it could be beneficial to run the Rune Blade or run some type of armor that does run slash resistance with it. You can also run the Luminous Armlet on her, which is very powerful for any light-based element unit. Elf's Cloak would be really good. Oldoan Apron does give 50 defense penetration when the ability is fully maxed out. So if you are running tune-up on Elsirelle, you can get almost 100% defense penetration. She will be sitting at about 90 with Oldoan Apron and with her tune-up passive. So she will have a ton of defense penetration. So you're really going to have to decide if you want her to either be like an all-arounder tank and maybe throw like golden armor on her for slash resistance, or run Rune Blade, or if you want her to be a more focused and specialized tank running more specifically pierce resistance gear or magic resistance gear. In terms of espers, same type of situation, right? You could run Demon Wall, you could run Golem, you could run Death Machine, Odin, Siren, you could run any defensive Esper with her and basically justify it, or you could run any slash attack Esper with her and justify it. So there is so many different builds for her. She's a very versatile unit, and I think she's a very beginner friendly unit as well. So for the new players out there, this might be a great unit for you. In terms of VCs, there are a variety of VCs that she benefits from, but it's really hard to pinpoint what specific VC should be on her. I think most likely any of these VCs being on her would be fine, just because the party abilities are so powerful and she wants to have access to pierce resistance or single attack resistance for Odin, or man-eater, physical man-eater from Titan, or attack from Ifrit, slash attack from Moraga, light element from Scion. All of these are great for her. I'm not sure there's one specific VC out there that would be like, this is the god tier VC for Elsirelle. I think if I was going to put a VC on her, I would probably put Odin, just because it benefits the party, it gives her Man-Eater, and it gives her a decent amount of attack, because then I could put like Ifrit on a fire element unit, or Titan on a unit that benefits from Titan's abilities. Because now that we have VCs with individual unit buffs on them, trying to figure out and match the best VC for each unit in your party composition is almost like a puzzle, right? Like, there are so many situations where like Moraga might be better than actually running Aigaon, depending on the units that you're having in your party. If you're running Sid in your party, Aigaon's almost always going to be better now, all of a sudden. So then your entire VCs are going to change up. So there's a lot of different things to look at and think about. And I would encourage you to kind of, if you think there's one universal VC, personally, I think that's always Odin. If I ever like have a question of what VC to put on a damage dealing or tank character, Odin is always the way to go for me. But make sure you drop a comment down in the comment section down below and let me know what you think as well, because I do know there are versatile mechanics here, right? Like Death Machine would be great for her. But again, what if you have Ildira in your party and suddenly you're running Ildira as VC and you have area resistance from that? So there's a variety of things that you can be running with her, and I feel uncomfortable saying these are the single VCs that you should be running with her, as opposed to Garvall, which it was like these three are kind of the ones he needs to have. Anyway, guys, if you do want to support me, make sure you use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins or dig.gs/offer. You can also swing by my stream tonight and drop me a Prime Gaming subscription that you do get for free from your Amazon Prime account. Would really appreciate that. We are going to be streaming from 8:30 p.m. until midnight tonight. I haven't decided if I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m. after the maintenance yet. It'll kind of depend on how high my energy is, because I kind of have to stay up till 2 a.m. for a news video anyway. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll see some of you guys tonight. As always, have a great day, everybody.